make the playoffs. The Jets are now in as the #5 seed in the AFC playoffs as the Buffalo Bills lost, giving the Jets the spot at #5. Denver with a win today would get the final AFC position and have a rematch next week at Indianapolis in the wild card round. Happy New Year, friends. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms. Happy New Year to you, partner. Interesting scenario here. We could see these two teams playing 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, all Denver has to do is win. Well, the Colts, they are 12-3, but the big question today is how long will the Colts play their starters, in particular Peyton Manning?
All right, Peyton Manning and the Colts will get the football to begin the game. As the Broncos at 9-6, they know what they must do. They must win to make it into the postseason. Jason Baker will be kicking to Dominique Rhodes, who had an incredible game returning kicks last week against San Diego, including a run back for a touchdown. It's Rhodes fielding it at the 5. He'll swing it over to the left side and get swamped at the 27-yard line by Lewis Green. And here he comes, Mr. 49. Peyton Manning, the 49 touchdown passes. That in total is 10 more touchdowns than the entire Bronco team has scored this year. Tarek Glenn on the left side of a line that has allowed the fewest sacks in the league this year, only 13. And Edgerrin James, he has an outside chance at the rushing title today, but he too could see limited action. From the 27, Manning making his 112th consecutive start. Every game of his career, never a miss. It's across the middle, and the ball looked to be caught, and a fumble on the back end. No, they'll rule it incomplete. That was Ben Hartsock. Hartsock, the rookie tight end from Ohio State, who caught his first 2 passes of his career last week. Had it for a moment. John Lynch on the hit.
Even with all the crowd noise and the emotion on the side of the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning still checks off. That is not a catch. You must get 2 feet on the ground and make a football move. Hartsock never did that.
Place is rocking on 2nd down and 10. And a stretch play to run with Edgerrin James, and he will be set back for a loss of 2. DJ Williams and Al Wilson combine on the hit. This Broncos defense with Coleman, Marco Coleman, who came out of retirement over the summer. He retired, unretired, back, and he's helped, giving him leadership and a lot of savvy. And there's Williams, the rookie, who just made the tackle for a loss. Lynch comes over in the offseason, makes the Pro Bowl on the AFC side. 6th time in his career, 5 with the Bucs. And now this year with Denver. You saw Trevor Price, 93, in for the Broncos, his first action in 3 months. 3rd down, and Manning gets the completion over to Marvin Harrison, but not enough for the first. Champ Bailey bumps him out after a gain of 6.
Jim, you and I were talking before the game that how disappointed it is so many times in this league. You go to stadiums and you just don't feel that emotion like we used to from crowds. Well, right from the start today, you could see it. John Lynch's big hit, the emotion, the crowd is really into it because this is a playoff game for the Denver Broncos.
The bottom line, that's it.
That's it.
Smith in the punt for the Colts, and it's a beauty. Luke is the return man. He had a little trouble holding on to it in recent weeks, but Triandis this time is tripped up back at the 17 by Jerome Sapp. 55-yard boot and 4 yards. That's all on the return as Sapp was all over the coverage. Here's Jake Plummer. He actually could set the all-time Denver passing yardage mark in a season, breaking John Elway if he can find 188 yards today. Lepsis on the line. We talked about the Colts have given up the fewest sacks in the league. Well, the Broncos are 2nd. Only 14 sacks on the whole season. And Reuben Drones becomes the 5th different back to rush for 1,000 yards in a season under Mike Shanahan. So here's Plummer. Last week, Christmas Day win at Tennessee, he was sharp. And it's Reuben Drones running into 3 or 4 Colt defenders after a gain of 2 yards. This Colts defense will give up some yardage, but it is an aggressive bunch that can make some plays, whether it be sacks or turnovers. And speaking of sacks, the best in the league this year, Dwight Freeney. He can win the sack title today. 16 sacks on the season coming in. Brackett starts in the middle linebackers. Rob Morris is out, still lingering effects from the concussion, although he did practice this week. And Sanders, the rookie, is in the secondary for coach Tony Dungy, who has 2 starters out today, inactive. Tatum Bell is in the backfield for the Broncos on 2nd and 8. And it's Bell for only a yard. Dries Bashir and Nick Harper both inactive with injuries that will have them back, though, next week.
That it's going to be a long, rough day, and you hope they settle in and not give up, but take it easy on you.
Mike Shanahan with his 100th win last week as the Broncos head coach in the victory over the Titans. And there's Plummer's pass falling incomplete. May have been deflected by Brock.
It's a good thing it was deflected, because Jake Plummer was throwing right in the middle of a crowd. That pass had a chance to be intercepted.
So Jason Baker in the punt.
And you know, Jim, don't take for granted just because the Colts are playing for nothing. Remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were up in Buffalo today, a tough environment, nothing on the line, and they came through with the victory.
There have been other examples today. Washington stepping up, knocking out Minnesota. Kick by Baker is headed sideways. That ball will be spotted at the 44. And some unhappy patrons. And Peyton Manning takes off the stocking cap, and he is already going to call it a day. We're going to see Jim Sorgi, the rookie from Wisconsin, take over. So Peyton, 3 snaps. That's it.
3 snaps. No first downs, but Jim, we did not expect to see him very long today. You could already feel the emotion, the Denver defense being aggressive. This is what they play and get Jim Sorgi in.
Sorgi was the 6th rounder from Wisconsin in the draft last spring. Dominique Rhodes has also come in as Edgerrin James is taken out after 1 series.
Might have been a false start on the quarterback.
False start. Number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Phil, we saw a glimpse of Peyton Manning putting on a headset, getting ready to put on a headset today.
Well, he's going to be a little bit of a coach. He is going to call the plays in to Jim Sorgi and tell him what to do, alerting the situations, what to look for, and just help him out as much as he can. Jim
Sorgi has played in only 3 games in his career, some mop-up duty, and this is the pass play on his very first snap of the day, and that goes to Reggie Wayne, a very sharp effort. That was the 100th snap, that's it, in Peyton's entire career where he was in uniform that he did not participate in.
Wow, it's something, you know, Jim, you talk about Jim Sorgi, what a good job of getting the play action fake, getting that first completion. And we talked to him last night, and he says, I got one thought. I am going to get rid of the football. And that's.
Well, he got rid of the last one, had a lot of zip on it for 16 yards. And again, Dominique Rhodes is in the backfield. Sorgi pushes him back on 1st down. Spinning loose. Good effort by Rhodes to pick up a couple. Give him a yard. Broke away from Kelly Herndon. Picked up a positive yard after it looked like a loss in the entire career now, including these last 2, now 101 snaps. And only 1 snap his entire career has he missed because of an injury. Not a game, a snap.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. You talk about all the accomplishments that Peyton Manning has had as a quarterback in this league. He is really proud of the fact that he's not missed a start.
Man, is he into this. Look at this intensity.
What did he say? He goes, I called the plays in a 2-minute drill in practice against our defense. I said, what happened? He goes, right down the field, touchdown.
And here's another pass play. Sorgi hits Harrison down to the 34. That'll be enough for another 1st down, a gain of 9. Champ Bailey on the coverage.
And you know, Jim, as you watch Peyton Manning calling the plays, Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, gives him to Peyton Manning, doesn't say anything, just gives you the play, no information, but that's not going to be the case today. Peyton says, look, I'm going to help Jim Sorgi out and give him some information to help him out. And the whole team, they're all excited about the quarterback coming in, and hopefully they can help him have some success.
From the gun on first down. And it's over to Dallas Clark for about 4 yards. And Bonnie Bernstein, of course, with us as always. Happy New Year to you, Bonnie.
Hi there, Jim. Well, just to follow up on what Phil just touched on, you know, a lot of starters in a game where the Colts really have nothing to play for, they'd want to sit. But Tony Dungy was telling us, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, we said, hey, Coach, we want to practice with Jim Sorgi. We want to play with Jim Sorgi. We want to help him feel comfortable. Marvin really likes how comfortable Sorgi is in the pocket. But this guy's 6'5", not even 200 pounds, and Tom Moore said, you know what, I think I weighed more at birth than he does now.
Well, here's Sorgi handing off to Dominique Rhodes, and he tiptoes out at the 20, running behind Ryan Deem for 10 yards.
You know, Bonnie, that's a good point you made. Starting offensive line is in there. The starting wide receivers. Edgerrin James, he did come out. Marvin Harrison just got a little beat up on this last play. He's coming off the field too.
Well, Harrison actually went to Coach Dungy this week and said, hey, you know, once you make the switch at quarterback, I still want to play. I want to stay on the field and help out Sorgi.
That says a lot. You know what? Hopefully before the game is over, I'll be able to say his name and not beat it up like I have a few times already either.
First down and 10. And Sorgi with a short pass to Troy Walters, who came in for Harrison. And Sorgi now is 4 for 4, and I'm starting to smell a little quarterback controversy in Indianapolis.
I tell you, well, you know, listen.
What have you done for me lately?
That's right. What have you done? Peyton didn't even get a first down when he was in there, but it kind of shows you about the football team, the system. And you know, Jim, we talked to Jim Sorgi last night. He just said, I've learned so much backing up Peyton Manning, how hard he's worked. He has sit there all year, and he's known for a couple weeks that this chance could come in this game, so he is ready for it.
He's 5 for 5 as he tosses it over to Reggie Wayne, a couple yards shy of the first. 3rd and 2 on the way, and what an impressive first series for Jim Sorgi. If there were any nerves coming in, we haven't seen them, and this certainly will calm any kind of anxiety, as he's been able to move the Colts down the field. Marvin Harrison has come back into the huddle, and you notice the Colts are huddling with Sorgi at quarterback.
Yeah, something they do not do with Peyton Manning, but the crowd trying to get into it. They know what's at stake here. It's a nervous moment when the visiting team playing for nothing has a chance to jump on top. On
3rd and 2, Sorgi steps up, has the first down to Harrison. That's going to be 1st and goal at the 7, a 5-yard pickup.
Say what, nice throw. Wonderful catch by Marvin Harrison coming across the middle. The Colts do this so much. They send the receivers underneath and short. They clear it out with other guys up the field. Watch Stokely go up. Marvin Harrison comes under. It's their favorite pass route, and it takes precision throwing and some tough catches to get it done.
1st and goal for the Colts. Sorgi throws, touchdown Indianapolis. Marvin Harrison. 7-yard touchdown toss, and Jim Sorgi was 7 for 7 on that series.
I tell you what, Jim, you said it. What a start. What an opening drive for his career. Just perfect. The play calling, it was loose. They didn't act like they had a first-year quarterback in there, and he took advantage of the situation.
That gives the Colts now 50 touchdown passes, as you know, but that is an NFL record. They were tied coming in with the Dolphins, because that year when Manning threw 48, Jim Jensen also threw 1. So they had 49 as a team. That's a new NFL mark as Sorgi comes in, throws his first NFL touchdown.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the touchdown. We saw a lot of short passes over the middle. Sometimes these are the hardest to throw because they have to be right on the money. And that time, Jim Sorgi right into the chest of Marvin Harrison, touchdown.
Well, Jim Sorgi had 1 pass completion on the season coming in. Pretty well called series, I would have to say. Let's give a little credit over to number 18.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's the one that said.
Well, with Tom Moore.
Yeah, that's right. We'll give Tom Moore that gets the credit. But you know, you talked about that. It's a new team record. Peyton Manning did not know that.
Yeah.
Last night, you brought it up to him. You made him nervous. He goes, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I said, you know, hey, you've got 49, but, you know, you're only tied for the real record. What's that all about?
He knew right away who threw it. He goes, crash.
No, he thought it was Don Strock.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, then I said, no, Jim Jensen. He said, oh, you mean crash. So that gives the Colts 50. But more importantly for Tony Dungy, I mean, what a settling series it is to see a rookie quarterback come in.
Well, you know what? And now Jim Sorgi, people will believe him when he says, I play for the Indianapolis Colts. Before he'd say it, they go, oh, come on, you don't really play.
It's Luke on the run back. And he is buried at the 25 by Bob Sanders. We remind you tomorrow on CBS, CSI Miami begins the new year with an unforgettable new episode. A hospital emergency room becomes the scene of Miami's most intense gang war. Don't miss a new episode of Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami at 10/9 Central on CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, we watched the Colts drive for the touchdown. The Jim Sorgi story, it has started, but think about what this does to the mental makeup of the Denver Broncos. A situation like this, when the other team is not playing all of its starters, you have to win, they don't, it can make you nervous.
Plummer over to Rod Smith, and he is bounced out near the first down. Bounced out by Bob Sanders.
One of the reasons why Jake Plummer is not sacked very often is the fact he will get rid of the football, but you have to be careful when you're rushing him as a defensive guy against him, because he does have the ability to make you miss. So David Thornton slows up. It allows Rod Smith to get across the field wide open, and a 9-yard gain for the Denver Broncos.
Rubo Jones is back in, mishandle on the snap, and Plummer able to pick it up and fall forward for maybe a half yard. You know, you look at Jake Plummer's season, Phil, and there have been 20 interceptions thrown, which certainly stands out, tied for most in the league. But there have also been 25 touchdowns. And he's also going to move in on 4,000 yards on the season. How would you characterize his year?
I think it's been, Jim, a really solid year. Not great, but very solid. The numbers are there, and he's made a lot of big plays in crucial moments for this Denver team. When he does have bad games, the numbers have been really bad, like San Diego, 4 interceptions.
Plummer was able to get the first, picking up the fumbled exchange, and that pass was intended for Laley, incomplete. Von Hutchins was in on the coverage, 2nd and 10 on the way.
Well, Jake Plummer, Jim, you talked about it, the passer rating, that is solid. The total yards, when you talk about going over 4,000 yards, that's being extremely productive, regardless of the situations you're put in. 25 touchdown passes, that's also very good.
He told us this week that he didn't want to hear about this game not being important to Indy. This is a trap if we come in thinking that way. And he hits Rod Smith on the run, and he advances into Colts territory at the 47. Yeah, Plummer said this week, I had everybody coming up and questioning about the Colts. How much will we see their starters? I don't care. We got to be mentally ready. As we already have seen evidence, but that opening drive by Sorgi.
Well, the trap of playing against the Indianapolis Colts. Here's the trap. When you look at their defense, it's 28th in the NFL. They give up a lot of yards. But what has made them a team that has a 12-3 record? They get a lot of sacks on the quarterbacks, and they get a lot of turnovers because they can rush the passer, and they have speed with everybody on the defense. Like the play just like that illustrates it.
Well, that's Brock showing the speed as Reuben Drones suffers a 3-yard setback.
Well, Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator, look at these numbers. Well, there they are. I was right when I said it. 365 yards. So you go, oh, they're no good. Takeaways, 36, second best in the NFL. That's what I always notice when I look at this Colts defense. And then Dwight Freeney, the sacks come in big moments. They cause fumbles, and they turn games around.
But this is a defense that's been knocked by so many people saying, hey, the Colts can't go anywhere because their defense can't do it. But you look at those numbers, you believe they have the ingredients.
Jim, they got big-time playmakers on defense.
Rod Smith, he's a playmaker, has been for years, and he pulls it down as Wayne Bacon was trying to stay with him. It's a gain of 12, but still just shy of a first, third, and less than a yard.
2 rookie corners starting for the Indianapolis Colts today, and something that the Denver Broncos will do more of is have Jake Plummer just drop straight back and throw the football down the field. The Broncos don't do a lot of that. They like a lot of play actions, run the football, but when you play the Colts, you kind of know what they're going to do on defense, so it's easier to drop back and throw it down the field.
And Smith already picking up 38 yards, and he looks around and calls the timeout for the Broncos on 3rd and about a half yard. 4:23 to go in the first quarter. And you can log on to NFL.com and read memories from former players and teammates of Reggie White. Hear what they have to say on NFL.com or NFL on AOL. And while we have a moment, we tell you that next week we have a big basketball day coming up on Saturday. Women's action. Some will see Georgia LSU, or others Penn State Wisconsin, and then that great rivalry game. The women's team from Tennessee and UConn will meet again. And then men's action. #1 Illinois against Purdue in Big Ten play. Some will see SEC action. Vanderbilt and Tennessee. 3 games in all coming your way next Saturday, a wild card weekend right here on CBS.
Tony Dungy. We talked to him last night, Jim, and I said, what about this whole game? You know, the way it's set up for your football team. And he just went, it makes me really uncomfortable to coach in a game where a real regular season game where I don't play all my guys all the time, and it's just every effort we got to win. He has to be careful. You cannot let your stars get hurt in a game that means nothing to you.
And here's the bootleg on 3rd and less than a yard. Plummer could have walked for the first, but goes for the touch, and Lee pulls it in. Touchdown Broncos. Jason David was trying to defend. Lee has his 7th touchdown of the season. All of them have been more than 30 yards. I tell you, Plummer, magnificent effort on the bootleg and the fake. I mean, he had a whole field open, but went for the big strike, and he got it.
He did the right thing. Even if the football would have fell to the ground incomplete, that play was called to go for the touchdown.
Extra point, Elam, 7-7 first quarter. How about the Broncos responding to the Colts touchdown? They drive right back, get one of their own.
It's a standing ovation for a January full of sports on Orbit. Crowds are lining up for the extravaganza of college football's bowl week. The protagonists of the Saudi League will receive a warm welcome. The arenas will be roaring for the challenge of the NFL playoffs. It's a sold-out show for all the action of the French League. More cheers are on the way for the frequent flyers of the NBA. The Dutch League must add extra seats by popular demand. Orbit in January, bringing you a world of sports.
Planning a trip down under.
No one comes here for holiday.
You live in fantasy land.
No. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, haha, very funny.
Tough world, sweetheart.
I mean, you're not that ugly.
Well, learn the lingo first.
Who's this Mango?
Watch Stingers, Sundays at 11 p.m. Riyadh time on America Plus.
What did I say?
We are back in Denver. Jim Nantz with Phil Simms, Bonnie Bernstein. Ashley Lely with another long touchdown reception.
Well, I guess it goes without saying, Jim. You said all 7 of his touchdowns, 30-plus yards. He is the deep threat, the home run hitter for this Broncos offense.
#1 in the league in average yards per catch. And Rhodes, with his recent success, runs it out of the end zone, and a flag thrown in as he took it all the way out to the 28. Pete Moreeeee and crew on hand here.
Holding. During the return, number 80. 10-yard penalty, first down.
The play action fake, Jim. The only reason Jake Plummer did not run with this football, 3rd and short, he knew they would go for it on 4th down. They put this play in and called it to go for the score. And what a throw and what a catch by Ashley Lilly. Double move on the outside. Jason David is fooled. He does not have the speed to catch back up. And when you're from Hawaii, that's where Ashley Lilly went to school. He's getting up on that surfboard to surf that wave.
I'll tell you, surf's up, intensity's up, crowd is up. 7-7 as the Colts begin all the way back at their 12. And Rhodes again in for Edgerrin James. He gets by 2 tacklers and out to the 14 for a hard-earned 2 yards. Jim Sorgi, 7 for 7, the first series for him in this game.
Yeah, after a false start by the quarterback, very nice first throw, gets off to a good start, and then very precise with all the underneath passes in tight coverage against this Broncos defense. What a feeling. You got me excited really just watching him. Your first real action, 7 for 7 and a touchdown throw.
On 2nd and 8, make him, oh, what a catch, and then a wallop. And the ball is in the hands of Reggie Wayne. The ball free again, picked up by Kelly Herndon. We've got a flag on the field, and boy, it's like the Keystone Cops. Things are happening everywhere. Herndon cuts back to the sideline. He's got open room. And steps in for a touchdown. Dallas Clark made a catch in traffic and was absolutely walloped by John Lynch.
It's going to come back because of the hit by John Lynch. I think it's going to be helmet to helmet against a defenseless player, and I'm not sure Dallas Clark caught the football, got both feet on the ground, and had time to make a football move before he dropped it.
Wow, what a wild piece of action. I don't know how Dallas Clark made the catch, and then John Lynch did come in, and you think might be a little head hunting, which of course would take everything off the board for the Broncos return. Anytime
a receiver is going down the field and looking to catch the football, a defender cannot launch himself and lead with the helmet. That's, I couldn't tell just watching it in real time, but that has to be why they threw the flag. John Lynch, number 47. What a throw.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And
the ruling on the field will be that the flag will be picked up since the runner was run or not intended to have it. Ruling will be a touchdown.
I'll tell you the one thing, they may want to, talking about the Colts, they may want to challenge and say Clark was down.
That could be a challenge because he was put to the ground by contact. He was down by contact. 1, 2, he's got possession. Oh boy, was that some hit. That was the first time I really watched it.
And then, you know, to keep this, you know, in the really bizarre category, it's then picked up, the ball squirted loose in the arms of Reggie Wayne, who took off. Only to see Reggie Wayne later lose it. Someone upstairs on that Colts staff is certain to
has challenged the ruling on the field that the pass was incomplete.
Oh, they're going to challenge that the pass was incomplete. I would think they would challenge the pass was complete and that the receiver was down.
Since he was driven to the ground by the defender, I thought he would be down on contact on the ground. Now the Colts are going to challenge that this was an incomplete pass. And Jim, if you not for moving, as he catches it, not complete control, that's going to be really close.
Why don't you explain to everybody why they picked up the flag on the hit by Lynch?
They're saying he turned into a catch, and now he's a runner. And once you have turned into a runner with the football, you can launch yourself and hit the guy any way you want.
Yeah, he just look. You just see that I fumbled. I just think just knocked silly for a moment.
There could be a lot of interpretations to this catch, non-catch, fumble.
Did you think he had possession? Did you think he had? Now look at Dallas Clark. After being knocked dizzy, he's got the helmet back on, and he's running back out on the field. Tell you, the Colts offensive line is now like meeting near the 40-yard line. I think they're convinced that they're somehow going to win the challenge, and they're going to see in this whole replay mix that he is down inside the 50-yard line, up there in the area of 45-yard line.
Well, I saw this earlier today. It's a touchy rule. When you catch a football, and if you're going to the ground and you hit the ground and fumble, it is a fumble, or not a catch, I should say. But when you're driven to the ground, you had possession. If that's the way they rule it, John Lynch hits him, he goes to the ground, he has possession, then it comes out. I would consider that a catch.
Pete Moreeeee taking a long look at this one, as he should.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Do you understand why they picked the flag up, though? Because they viewed it, and they all got together, the officials. They said, no, he caught it, got a couple steps, he's turned into a runner. You got to protect yourself once you become a runner with the football. Well, here it comes. Well, when there's a long discussion
afterwards, it means there's going to be
well, that's what I think, but I've been wrong on this too. So
you would think this means that Indianapolis is going to win the challenge, and now there might be asking about where the placement of the football would be.
Indianapolis has their offense out.
Yep.
Denver, their extra point team.
After reviewing the play, the Indianapolis receiver did not have control of the pass. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass.
Wow.
Now, we have a 15-yard penalty on the safety for Denver for a helmet-to-helmet contact, 15 yards from the previous spot. First down, Indianapolis.
Well, that changes the flag situation.
Changes the flag, too. Just watch it and listen, regular speed.
It sure looked, as Clark fell on his back, that he had possession. He had cradled the football.
But again, we showed that other angle. You could see the football move, and at the last second before he got hit, finally he gained control, but that was too late. Watch the football as Dallas Clark catches it. It's high, it's moving. He did not have control and get both feet on the ground or make a football move. That's why it's incomplete.
So the Colts see the football moved up to the 29-yard line because of the 15-yard infraction on Lynch, and a first down for the Colts, and the touchdown taken off the board. And it'll go down as Sorgi's first incompletion of the game. And in and out of the hands of Marvin Harrison. We've got an update. Back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Jim and Phil in St. Louis. Doug Bryan from 53 yards out for the win for the New York Jets. It sails to the right. That means the Saints are still alive. A tie does the Rams no good. They need a win to get into the playoffs. It's tied at 29, 4:22 to play in OT.
All right, good stuff, Greg. Thank you. Yes, they're down to inside 5 minutes there. It's not important for the Jets, by the way, because with the Bills already losing, the Jets are locked in as the 5 and will play at San Diego next weekend in the wild card. Second down and 10, and Dominique jumps ahead to the 34-yard line.
You know, as I watch this game, even though Peyton Manning is not in there, the defensive calls and what you think is a defense, it can't change a lot. And talking to Larry Corrier, the defensive coordinator for the Broncos, he did not want the Colts, regardless who the quarterback was, to be able to come to the line of scrimmage and change the plays. He goes, that's what we got to do. We got to hide our intentions or disguise what we're trying to do so the Colts can't change the plays and take advantage of it.
3rd down and 6 out of the gun, Sorgi. Broncos back out there with Trevor Price on that defensive line. And Sorgi first pressured by Trevor Price. Later gets sacked by Reggie Hayward. Ellis Johnson was also in the backfield.
Talking about getting a key component to your football team back, Trevor Price. Reggie Hayward, number 98, is all over him. But, Jim, Trevor Price being a very good pass rusher, getting some action here and getting ready just in case they win and go to the playoffs.
He had back surgery on September 22nd, talking about Price. They kept thinking he might be back, 4 or 6 weeks later, but out for 3 months. And seeing some action here today. And the punt by Hunter Smith, a generous roll all the way down to the 16. And here's the multi-year Pro Bowler. As you see, David Letterman, Late Show. Tomorrow we'll welcome Academy Award winner Hilary Swank and music from Green Day. Dave's all new this week, and don't miss the premiere of the Late Show with Craig Ferguson. That's tomorrow night here on CBS. Now, Trevor Price, they thought 15 to 20 snaps today, Phil, and hoping to obviously just get him some action before, a hopeful playoff week ahead. Hope for a playoff week.
And Jim, too, of course, they want to get him in there mostly in passing situations where he can rush the passer.
Tatum Bell off the toss to the 25 and just barely got hit by the ankles by David Thornton. It could have been a huge run, gain of 8 yards.
And you watch this Broncos offense, the first thing that jumps out at you now, the second time we've had a chance to see him in person, Jim, but Tatum Bell, he's like Ashley Lally. Just get the football in their hands. They have the speed, they have it all, and they take normal plays and make them into big plays.
2nd down and 2 for the Broncos. A minute to go, first quarter. And again, Bell, this time no gain. Monte Rager with a fine effort. The Broncos this season, Quentin Griffin went out, had to be IR'd in October after injuring a knee in a game at Cincinnati. But you look at these 3, all of them this season had 100-yard games. Amazing one team could have 3 players in a season have 100-yard efforts.
I would say the Denver personnel department and Mike Shanahan, they have a pretty good eye for what a running back can do, what he can do in the NFL when he comes out of college. And that's the system, the way they coach him, and of course the running back's talent does it all.
3rd down and 2, and Smith plucks it down for the first. Again, working on Von Hutchins. The pass was a little high, but Rod Smith with those great hands.
Well, we talked about it. They're going to drop back more today than they have in the past. Jake Plummer under pressure, but Rod Smith against a rookie, Von Hutchins. He's going, shoot, I know I can get open, especially in man-to-man coverage running across the field. That's pretty easy for Rod Smith.
And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Broncos, again, must win to get in the playoffs. And we've got another update. We'll send it back to Greg in New York.
Jim and Phil, it is all over in St. Louis from 31 yards out. Jeff Wilkins kicks the St. Louis Rams into the postseason. Minnesota is also in 32-29 in overtime. The Rams.
Wow. How about that? So the Rams are in, and Minnesota able to get in through the back door after losing today at Washington.
Okay, you know what? Let me just clear this up. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
There's no back doors. So you did what it takes to get to the playoffs. Because one time I was a player and they all read, oh, the Giants getting in the back door. I go, well, what are you kidding? You play all year. It's tough. It's rough. Just because you don't win the last game of the year doesn't mean you're going in the back door.
Well, but by that, you know, you have a chance to go on the road. You have a chance to determine, well, you still needed some help if you were Minnesota today, but you have a chance to really do something. You have the scar from last year, the scar tissue of the loss at Arizona, and all those memories, of course, about to be drawn up again, the comparisons. If 2 straight years they blew it on the final weekend, only to be saved by St. Louis, and that great late rally by the Saints comes up short.
Well, it was a tremendous effort by the Saints, Jim, here late in the year. But, you know, it's just being an ex-player, sometimes you get touchy about certain phrases. That's one of them.
Well, Minnesota's in, and the Jets also, of course, got in today without winning.
That's
the Jets
right.
got in today without winning.
And you know what, too? I think what the Jets did. Now, of course, you know Herm Edwards knew what was going on, where their situation was once they went into overtime. He knew they were in, I would think, and that's one of the reasons why he tried such a long field goal, maybe to win the game. Otherwise, they punt it, play field position, and try to win it that way. Because a tie, even if the Jets did, a tie would have still got them in, too.
By the way, one last step on that NFC side now with Minnesota and St. Louis both in. If Seattle wins, Seattle's playing Atlanta right now. Seattle, if it wins, is the division champ and the 4 seed in the NFC side, then St. Louis, then Minnesota. If Seattle loses, then St. Louis wins the division. Then it's the Seahawks as the 5, Minnesota the 6. We'd like to welcome everybody who saw that thriller in overtime. We're in Denver, Colorado, the first snap of the second quarter. The Broncos and the Colts tied at 7, and Denver getting Tatum Bell out to the 48-yard line. Just to recap here, the Broncos trying to take the final playoff spot in the AFC. A Bronco win would give them the 6th seed, and that would mean a rematch game with Indianapolis next week in Indianapolis. However, if the Broncos come up short, that keeps Baltimore and Jacksonville alive. Actually, Jacksonville playing at Oakland right now would have the advantage over Baltimore if the Jags also win. But 7-7 is the score here. Reuben Drones running with it left side, and a gain of about a yard. Also to recap, Peyton Manning started the game for Indianapolis, played 3 snaps, 3 and out, and on the Colts second series they brought in rookie quarterback Jim Sorgi, who drove the Colts right down the field, completed all 7 of his attempts, including a touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison, only to see that touchdown later answered on the very next possession by Plummer on a long strike 38 yards to Ashley Lee to tie it at 7. And there's Jim Sorgi. It was looked